Have you ever felt like you're falling apart, but quietly, like the edges of your soul are fraying in silence? It's a soundless thing, a shadow at the corner of your mind. Does anyone else know how that feels? Have you ever carried a loneliness so heavy you can't even cry out? You put on a brave face, but inside something aches with a weight you can't name. The room is full of light, but you feel in darkness. Who would see the cracks in you if you never told them? Have you ever felt numb, like a statue made of glass in a storm? The rain and noise wash around you, but you stay still. Inside, you break. And who is there to catch the pieces? Have you ever felt like you're holding your breath, and you don't even know when to let it out? Each second is heavy with words you never say. Something inside wonders, when did silence become louder than your voice? You pretend to laugh with the crowd, but the sound feels hollow. You feel like a ghost playing a role in your own life. Have you ever danced on the edge of your smile, wondering who you are beneath it? There are nights when you can't sleep. The world outside has fallen silent, but in your mind a storm rages. Have you ever had to lie still, clutching a secret pain like a lifeline? Your heart carries weight as if it's wearing chains, but you walk on. You've become an expert at acting light. Have you ever felt guilt creeping along your steps like a shadow, unseen but heavy? You practice a smile in the mirror, the one you think people want to see. At midnight, you ask yourself, who were you before the act began? Who are you when no one is watching? You lie awake at night replaying every misstep from the day. Each mistake grows in your mind until morning. How would it feel to forgive yourself for just one of them? You see others laughing easily, but for you, laughter feels borrowed. What happens when laughing stops sounding like your own? We live in a world where everyone is performing peace, and no one actually feels it. On social media, we share smiles but hide scars. In crowded rooms, we stand alone, pretending to belong. Why did we all learn to pretend? It wasn't always like this. Philosophers of old told us to know ourselves, to look within. But today, our minds are crowded with images and noise. We scroll and swipe as our own questions fade. When did we forget to listen to the quiet wisdom inside? In old stories, heroes would sit quietly to find answers. Today, heroes are filtered influencers on a screen. What if meaning is hiding in silence instead of noise? We hurry to be part of everything, yet we feel part of nothing. Phones buzz all night, lights stay on. True rest has become a dream. When did staying busy become the easy way out? 1,000 voices tell you how life should be lived, demanding perfection at every turn. Yet perfection feels miles away. Who told you to sacrifice yourself for their script? We have apps for everything except listening to our own minds. Each new gadget promises connection, but it disconnects us from ourselves. When did we forget to care about the person in the mirror? You smile and tell people, I'm fine. Your body says otherwise. Stomach tied in knots, heart running a silent race. In your mind, two voices argue. One says, keep going. The other whispers, I need help. When did pretending start to feel easier than being? There is an invisible war inside you. You build walls around what hurts, and the pain slips through the cracks like light. Day by day, you patch yourself up with excuses and duties. Who taught you to turn away from what aches inside? In the mirror, you see a calm face, but inside you're both hero and villain. If you held the pen for both, whose story would you write? You answer, I'm fine. When you really mean I'm tired, when did telling the truth become too dangerous to utter. You stand strong for others, but at home you crumble quietly. If your walls came down, who would you become? In the quiet of night, memories slip through. The truth hides in the shadow of your bed. You wonder if you even remember how you felt the last time you truly cried. Who are you trying to protect by staying silent? Carl Jung said our shadow isn't evil. It's simply the truth we've been too tired to face. Maybe your hidden parts are not monsters, just pieces waiting to come home. The darkness in you could be the lost pages of your story. What if the darkness you're running from is just part of the light you need? Once a child hid under blankets imagining monsters. The monster only existed in darkness. When the light came on, it vanished. It's the same with feelings. They only scare us until we see them. What would happen if you let some light into your shadows? Imagine an emperor calming his mind before a great battle. If Marcus Aurelius could face his fears in silence, could you face yours? What would you discover if you spoke gently to yourself? They say what we resist persists. If you stopped fighting your fear, what might change? Maybe your shadow is not your enemy, but a part of you looking for acceptance. What if inviting it in could change everything? For example, science finds something simple. A study at Harvard found that naming our feelings actually calms the brain's fear center. Naming your fear is like turning down a screaming radio inside you. So why do we still run from what could free us? Scientists in labs see what your heart knows already. Giving pain a name shrinks it. If knowledge is power, what are you keeping secret? Think of a moment when you told someone how you felt and suddenly breathed easier. If speaking your pain can lift a weight, what secret are you still holding? Right now, in every city and small town, people scroll through feeds filled with other lives. They know everything about others and almost nothing about themselves. We watch strangers, celebrities, friends, and we're strangers to our own minds. How can you heal a mind you never meet? We chase news, memes, and others' moments. We know what our coworker had for lunch, but not what our heart had for dinner. In the age of information, we know nothing about ourselves. When will you start writing your own story? In a world that never hits pause, how do we find a moment to notice ourselves? Every second, a new digital story begins. What if you paused one of yours? Where would you go? Some say healing is letting go. Others say it's holding on until it stops hurting. Maybe the answer isn't one or the other, but somewhere between. Which one feels truer to you right now? Silence can speak volumes, words can waver. Which one deserves the microphone of your mind right now? Look around. A teenager scrolls his phone in the dark at midnight, searching for something real. A mother smiles at morning in the mirror, even though her heart feels heavy. A man on the subway plugs in headphones, drowning out his mind. Perhaps that's why we're all so tired. We're holding conversations with people who never existed. Who are you performing for? In the city streets, shadows walk like everyone else, silent and unseen. The crowd presses in, but no one hears your heart. Who are you living for? A coworker you nod to every day, smiles and moves on, but at night carries secrets you know nothing about. How many stories lie unsaid around you? The night comes and whispers you can stop. Let your guard down. Not every battle needs winning. The darkness you carry is just a part of you, not an enemy to fight. You don't need to destroy it, only to listen. What would happen if you stopped fighting yourself? You were never meant to walk this path alone. Breathe in calm as the first light of dawn. Your shadows have been waiting for this breath. What if accepting the dark made everything clearer? You cradle your heart with gentle hands now. Its beat is a lullaby learning piece. What if embracing yourself could be the beginning of healing? You hold kindness for everyone else, but not for yourself. When did caring for you become a gift too precious to give? In quiet times now, instead of poetry, we fill our ears with podcasts and strangers' opinions. What if what you really needed to hear is just your own voice? Ancient sages meditated on mountaintops seeking truth. Today we meditate on glowing screens seeking distraction. Who taught us to confuse wisdom with noise? You see yourself in every failure, but not in every success. Why is it so easy to believe your doubts and so hard to hold on to joy? You listen to worst-case scenarios on repeat. What story would you find if you played a happy ending instead? Poets say the darkness is the canvas of the stars. Could your darkest nights be painting something you haven't noticed yet? Trees grow tall by reaching deep into the dark earth. Maybe your roots are setting deeper right now, preparing you to stand taller. How might your future forest look? A child's tears can silence a room. Medicine is starting to see tears as health, not weakness. What if crying is just a way your heart breathes? Buddhists have known, when we name an experience, it passes. If ancient wisdom and modern science agree, why do we still stay silent? In this era, we carry whole worlds in our pockets, but our own world often feels empty. Where did the home inside your mind go? We fill calendars with plans, but leave no time to empty our heads. When will you schedule a moment just to be? Are you hearing your heart or everyone else's expectations? Whose voice is truest to you right now? In the quiet, listen. Maybe your heart and mind are saying different things. Which whisper will you trust to find peace? You ask yourself, why me? Every time life hits hard. The hardest storms can bring the brightest rainbows if you let them. Could this be a turning point? In the early morning, your body looks the same, but inside everything feels changed. How long will you run from what you see? Imagine your mind as a forest at night. The darkness is deep but safe, filled with hidden life. What if stepping into that forest could lead you home? You've seen 1,000 sunsets, but maybe never truly waded through one. What could change if you stopped chasing and just watched? The person you need to forgive most is often yourself. If you spoke to yourself with kindness, what might your future echo? In every crack of light through darkness, there is proof that light can pierce through. What cracks will you let the light find? Here there is no rush and no noise. We don't chase the light anymore. We learn to see in the dark. If this voice stayed with you, let it guide you inward. Subscribe, not to follow but to remember. Before this video fades from your mind, ask yourself, are you living your truth or someone else's version of it?